After all the time of dealing with Twilio to get my text messages just for two-factor authentication approved, now Stripe paused my payments and I submitted my information. It went under review. I was rejected and then I submitted appeal and I'm still waiting to hear back on the appeal. But let me show you what it is and why I'm just going to give up on Stripe once and for all. My issue with Stripe began with a simple email, and it's an email like this that you get asking for more information about your business. And they give you a deadline here. Okay, that makes sense. I mean, fair enough. They should know what sort of business I'm conducting if they're going to be the merchant account. So you click this box, complete the form, and it takes you to a website like this, a web page. And it's just more information to fill out. It's very simple. I actually didn't even think twice about this because you're already verifying so much information, your tax ID, your business name, your email address, your bank account. So, I mean, they need some more info, no problem. And so I submitted this information long before that deadline. You'll see they ask what product or service you plan to sell through Stripe. I mean, they should know this. And so I'm happy to fill all this out. And then I submitted it. Now, I should have looked here because this is what I think the problem is all stemming from. I'm possibly on the restricted business list. Now, I didn't know. I should have looked at that. But in no way did I think my business was controversial. You'll see there's all sorts of stuff about, selling cannabis online and gambling. I mean, this is stuff that you would imagine. It's controversial. So you'd think there'd be an issue where it'd be restricted. What I'm doing is this is just for secure file sharing between tax accountants or escrow officers or loan officers. Basically, a professional can just send a document securely, like a tax return. I mean, that shouldn't be just emailed through unsecured email. That should be at least protected. So it's a secure way to share documents between a tax professional, for example. Now, I in no way thought that was controversial, but apparently it may fall under this cyber locker, which I'd never even heard of this term before, and file sharing service. Now I get they may have this because, there could be some LimeWire sort of business where someone charges a fee for access to copyrighted material, music to download, something like that. But I mean, I just don't see its application in this setting where tax accounting, for example, where someone's just sending secure financials. Okay. So anyway, once you do all that, you go to this page. I mean, this is part of my Stripe dashboard, but you'll see I have these tasks in here. Now, you'll see there's that due date, the deadline from the original email. Well, I filled out the request like 2 weeks before the deadline, and nothing happened. They just sat on it. See how it says information review? It's kind of like sending a friend request in social media. Well, your friend didn't reject it, but they never accepted it, so they just sit on it indefinitely. And that's it. That's what's happening here in all of these. And I did receive an email saying, hey, thanks for the information on your business, but after an additional review where it falls under our restricted business categories. Okay, fair enough. So now of course, I'm assuming it's from this original submission, but it says information review. Now I did an appeal, and it says here that you have 1 to 2 business days before you hear back on an appeal. Well, I did an appeal, at least a week ago, and I've heard nothing. So I mean, as you can see, I'm just stuck here. Now it says payments pause, payouts pause. I mean, the whole point of using a merchant account is to receive payouts. So if it's paused, I mean, the account's frozen. I mean, you can call it whatever you want. The account's frozen. And I paid a programmer to use the API from Stripe on our site for subscription services for professionals. Anyway, so now I have no choice but to use a different merchant account. So that's what has sent me over to Square. We'll see if Square will have an issue with this. I mean, so far in the early stage, no issue whatsoever. I mean, Stripe's nice because they're very developer friendly with their API. We'll see if Square is equally as developer friendly. But there are so many ways to collect payment. I mean, even just you can set up an automated invoicing method and then collect payments through Zelle or PayPal or the Cash App or some sort of ACH withdrawal. I mean, there's other alternatives. It's just kind of a bummer it didn't work out with Stripe. So I have to give up on Stripe. SentrySend will have to find another home, probably at Square, but we'll see. But that's it. That is how you can just get sat on and suspended animation with Stripe. Anyway, if you've had a similar experience, let me know. I'd like to hear the outcome. Thanks so much.